Hello, my name is Patrick Allen, and I am an interviewer for the Veterans History Project for the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. And the program is administered in Southwest Ohio by the Cincinnati-Hamilton County Public Library under the direction of Brian Powers. And my wife, Mary, is our camera person today, and we have the privilege of interviewing a veteran by the name of Eugene Simpson here at his home in Beaver Creek, Ohio. Eugene, thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, tell us your full name.
Eugene Simpson.
No middle initial?
No middle initial.
Okay. And where are we living right now? We're living in Beaver Creek.
Beaver Creek, yeah.
All right. And this is a retirement home where you're living?
Yes.
All right. And you were married, but your wife passed away?
Yeah.
And what was her name?
Wanda.
And what was her maiden name? Kirkland?
No.
Oh, your wife.
What was Wanda's wife?
That was your mom.
Her last name
It was Wyatt. Wyatt.
W-Y-A-T-T.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Now, you've been married 2 times. One time to Joanne Townsend.
Yeah.
And what happened to that marriage?
It was sort of a push-in thing, and I didn't like it.
So you just got a divorce?
Yeah.
And then you married Wanda?
Yeah.
And where did you meet Wanda?
At the Dayton post office.
All right. And when did you and Wanda get married? Do you remember?
You had your 50th anniversary in November.
Huh?
November was your 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Doing that.
November of 74?
Hmm?
November of 73?
Yeah, 73, but what is it, John?
Yep.
November 73.
Okay.
November 73?
Yeah.
You met her at the post office. Now, how long did you go with Wanda before you got married? Look at married.
I think it's probably about 50 years.
No, how long did you just date her?
Oh. I thought it was about 7 years.
1.
8.
1. Just
1
1 year.
year.
1 year.
What were you doing at the time? Were you employed? Were you employed when you met her?
Yeah.
Where did you work?
I was at the Dayton post office.
You worked at the post office?
Yeah.
Is that where she worked?
Yeah.
Well, good. Now, what's your birth date?
6/22/27.
And where were you born?
Chevrolet, Kentucky.
Now, you have shown me a diagram. Chevrolet, Kentucky was a coal town, was it not?
Coal camp.
And these are the homes that
Yeah.
were in the coal town?
Yeah.
And the railroad tracks?
Yeah.
And the highway?
Yeah. And the highway and the railroad and the
Creek?
creek. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, where did you live in town? Did you live
In that category.
right there?
Does it get my name on it there? Or
That's it.
And down here is a layout of your home.
that is the layout of the home, inside the home, and this is a little walkway that went from the street up to there.
Now, was that a 1-floor plan?
Yep.
All right. And how long did you live in this coal town? Did you live there while you went to grade school?
No.
Where did you go from Chevrolet? Where did you move?
Let's see, I went in the service.
When did they move to Tots? When did they move to Tots?
I don't remember when they moved to Todd.
I don't know either offhand.
What was the name of the town where they moved?
Tots, T-O-T-Z.
Todd's T-O-T-Z.
Okay, still in Kentucky.
Yeah.
All right. Now, can you see this, Mary?
Yes, dear.
Down here at the bottom, that's a chimney of the home that burned down.
That's a chimney from the house that burnt down. And this was all that was left of it. And of course it had, the chimney had 4 rooms, and it had 4 grates to it.
So, did that burn down while you were living there?
No.
Burned down after you moved?
Yeah.
All right.
I think there was one house left.
Now, your dad's name was what?
John Henry Simpson.
Do you know when John was born?
1892.
You got a good memory. And how about your mother? What was her name?
Jessie Equilla Kirkland.
And do you know when she was born?
Was it 1900 or?
1899?
1900.
Yeah.
1899?
Yeah.
All right. And was your dad a coal miner there
Yeah.
at Chevrolet?
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about the coal mine. Did you ever go into the mine with him?
I was, I worked with a surveyor, and I had to go in wherever we went to survey to get any measurements or anything like that.
All right. And was that a drift mine back into the mountain, or was that a deep mine?
In the mountains, drifted to the mountains.
Okay. How old were you when you did that mine surveying?
I was about, let's see, I went in service in 21 and got out in 25. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
All right. So you went to elementary school in Chevrolet,
Yep.
and where did you go to high school?
Hall High School. It was there's mountains in there, and there's several places, little towns and so forth.
All right. Tell me about Chevrolet's grade school. Was it a one-room school?
No, it was, we had 7 teachers at it.
Okay.
No, it was 8 school, 8, yeah.
First grade through 8?
Yeah,
All right. And was that a brick building or a wood building?
a wood building.
All right. And what kind of heat did you have in that building?
Stoves, coal burning stoves.
And who provided the coal for the stoves? Did you have to carry the coal in at all?
No,
All right. When you went to Hall, how big was Hall High School?
Hall had about 400 students.
So it was a good-sized school.
Yeah,
Was that still in the coal mine area?
yeah. Harlan County.
While you were in high school, before we got on the record, you said that you played basketball at Hall.
Pardon?
You played basketball at Hall High School
Yep, and football.
and football. What position did you play in football?
I played left end,
All right. And how about basketball? What did you play?
just forward or center.
How tall were you back in those days?
6'1" without hair.
Good one.
So were you the tallest boy on the team?
Nope,
What was the tallest boy?
6'2".
Okay. Do you remember his name?
Yeah. Bill, I can't think of his last name now.
Okay. How'd your team do?
We did pretty good,
All right.
but we had, Harlan was a city school, and it got all the good ball players. And
Now, Harlan's way down in southeastern Kentucky, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's where Chevrolet is too.
All right. About how far were you from the West Virginia border?
Oh, that would be probably 50 miles.
All right. Well, you're the first person I've met from Chevrolet, Kentucky.
Yeah.
When you were in high school, besides playing sports, did you work any place?
In the summertime.
Where did you work?
Well, I worked with my brother. He was a surveyor, and in the summertime, he used me as his rodman. And I was learning at the same time.
Okay. And you did that during the summer.
Yeah.
How much did you get paid?
I think about $1.25 an hour.
And what did you do with your money? Did you help support the family, or did you save it for a car?
I didn't save it for no car. I had help to support the family.
Okay. So,
There was 8 kids in that family.
8 children? Wow. And were you the oldest, or where did you fit in?
I was about the 5th or 6th.
Okay,
I
so,
was the second oldest boy.
and the oldest brother was who?
Tommy Simpson.
Okay. And he was born in 1917?
Yep.
What did Tommy do?
He was a surveyor.
Did he graduate from Hall?
No.
Where did he go?
I don't know. I don't remember offhand.
Okay. Was he in the military at all?
No.
All right. So you have Thomas, and then yourself, but you had some sisters. After Thomas was Lucille,
Yeah.
the next child, and she was born in 1919.
Yeah.
All right. And was Lucille married?
Not at that time.
Did she get married?
Yeah.
Do you remember what her married name was?
No, not offhand.
And then you had a sister, Geneva,
Yeah.
and she was born in 1921.
Yeah.
And did she get married?
Yeah. And they had moved up to Indiana. All of them did.
Lucille
Yep.
and Geneva.
Yep.
And then you had Doris, was another sister.
She died early.
She was born in 1923.
Yeah.
How old was she when she died?
Not very old.
Was she just 1 or 2 years old?
I can't tell you that. I don't remember.
2 years old. 3.
Your relatives are telling me that she was 2 years old when she passed away.
It could have been, yeah.
Do you remember that event?
Yeah. Now after it was brought to my attention.
Do you remember what caused her death?
No.
All right, then you have
Reba.
Reba,
Yeah.
and she was born in 1925.
Yeah.
And did she get married?
Yeah.
And is she one of the ones that moved to Indiana?
She lived there on Louisville.
In Louisville? Good. How about Doris? Did she move to Indiana?
No.
All right.
Doris was the.
She died. She's the one that died.
She's the one that died. Oh, right.
All the other ones were married.
Now you had another sister, Willa Mae.
Yeah, Nancy was her last name.
She went by Nancy.
Willa Mae's last name was,
Reed.
okay. And she was born in 1929.
Yep.
So your mother was a busy woman having children.
Yep.
Now, let me finish with that. And you had a brother, Henry,
Henry.
and he was born in 32.
Yep.
Let me ask you about Henry. Did he go to school there in Chevrolet or at Hall High School?
He went to Chevrolet, and I think he went a couple of years at Hall High.
Okay. Was he an athlete at all?
No, not really.
Did he work in the mine?
No, but he was always figuring out how to make money.
And what were some ways he figured out to make money?
Well, one of them was
S&S services.
he peddled things and this and that.
Okay, he'd pick up things and resell them?
Yeah.
All right. Then you have your last sibling was Denny,
Denny.
and he was born in 35.
Yep.
And what did Denny do? Did he go to school there?
No, he wasn't very much going to school.
Okay. So now, how many of your brothers and sisters are still living? Are you the last one?
I don't think they're done.
Yeah, they
No,
are.
they ain't, not any of them.
So you're the last survivor.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you about your home. With all these brothers and sisters, how many of you lived in the coal town there in that house at any one time? That's a big family.
Yeah, it was a big family. I'd say there was about 6 of us.
All right. Did you have to share beds or share bedrooms?
Yeah.
So, how was your food supply with your dad working the mines? Did you have to buy food at the company store?
Yep.
And did you buy it with money or with script?
He bought it with script.
All right.
They have no money left over.
Now, your mother's busy having children. Was she able to work anywhere between having children?
Well, the only thing she did was take in washers and a washing machine and wash clothes. But,
Okay, for the other families in camp?
yeah.
Good. So, did you feel like you had adequate food with all the children that were living there?
Well, yes.
At the house, did you have running water?
Not at that time.
Did you have indoor plumbing?
No, I did all that later on.
All right. Later on by when? After you got out of service or in high school?
No, it was high school most of the time.
In high school? All right.
He's told us he used his mustering out pay to put in the bathroom.
Pardon?
He's told us he used his mustering out pay to put in that bathroom.
All right. Your daughter said that you used the pay that you got when you got out of the Army to put in the bathroom at the house.
Yeah.
You remember that? All right. Well, let's go into, you graduated from Hall High School.
Yeah.
And how soon did you enlist in the Air Force?
1948, I think.
In 48?
Yeah.
What did you do between graduating high school and enlisting in 48? Did you work there in the mine?
No, I held the job there at the camp, like painting houses or something outside. And
Okay.
just doing odd jobs.
What was your first car that you ever bought?
I don't remember that. I didn't own a car for a long time.
Did your father have a car?
No,
Your brothers or sisters have a car?
some of them did and some didn't.
All right. How did you get to high school? Did you have a school bus or did you have to walk?
We had high school buses, which was 3 miles from my house.
And how about the grade school? Where was the grade school from
Grade
there?
school was there, up in the holler of where the school was.
And did you have to walk there? Did you have a bus?
We walked,
How far was that?
I'd say about a half mile.
What'd you do for lunch? Did your mother pack you a lunch or did you have lunch at school?
She'd pack us a lunch where she had money or anything.
When you got home from school, did you stay at school before you got home to play basketball?
Yeah,
So you went from school to basketball and then home.
yeah,
And same thing with football?
yeah.
Was it pretty dark when you got home after playing all those sports?
Yeah, you was hungry.
I'll bet you were.
Very hungry.
Yeah. But when you got home, did they have enough food for you to
Yeah.
satisfy you?
Yeah.
How'd your team do in football?
Well, my junior year we won it all, and my senior year we only won 3 games.
Okay. So your junior year, did you go undefeated?
Yep.
Wow. And you were playing end?
Well, what happened was World War II was over, and all them guys come back to finish school.
Okay. So that's why you had such a great team when you were a
Yeah.
junior.
Yeah.
Good. Did you have any friends that you lost in World War II? Did anybody get killed that you knew?
So,
So why, when you enlisted in '48, why did you pick the Air Force?
I don't remember now.
Well, you had a choice of the Air Force or the Army or Navy or Marines, but you picked the Air Force.
Yeah, I like the Air Force.
Okay. Were you aware of airplanes? Did you like seeing airplanes, or what was it that attracted you?
Well, not in them mountains because there wasn't no place for them to land.
Right. But did you see them fly over?
Yeah, but they couldn't fly low on account of
The mountains.
being in the mountains.
Well, where was this Chevrolet? Was that down in the valley or was that on the side of the mountain?
It was down in the valley.
All right. About how big was the town? How many people lived there?
Probably 200.
About 200?
Yeah,
All right.
because there's houses of there. That's a bad. Let me show you that. These are the houses, Chevrolet. That all these are houses.
And were there a lot of big families? Were there a lot of big families like yours was?
Well, yeah, there's several of them. But I made this from memory, this here, so I could have something like that. See, total
So
19.
the name of the coal company was Blue Diamond Coal
Blue
Company.
Diamond Coal Company, and it was working out of Knoxville, Tennessee.
And it opened in 1917
Yeah,
and it closed in 1958.
yeah. This is a river coming down through there. And I made that map there from memory.
Well, let me ask you, when you enlisted, where did you go to enlist? What town?
I think I joined at the school.
At school? All right. Now, where did you do your basic training?
Lackland,
Lackland Air Force Base? Where was that?
as a closer to I don't remember where was that.
All right. How long was basic training?
13 weeks.
What did they teach you to do?
Well, they just taught us the way of military for the Air Force.
All right. Did you have to do a lot of marching? Did you have to do a lot of marching?
Yeah.
Did you have to learn to use any weapons?
Well, we just had rifle range or
Okay.
that.
All right. How'd you do in the rifle range?
Got it nearsighted because I was real good on it. Next to me.
Did you do a lot of hunting
No,
there in the mountains?
no,
But you were a good shooter at the range.
yeah,
Did you get a marksman's badge?
yeah.
So what else? Did you have anything to do with airplanes during that 13 weeks?
No.
Where did you go from Lackland?
I can't remember.
Do you remember what state it was in?
Kentucky.
In Kentucky?
Yeah.
And what did you do there?
I don't remember.
What's the first thing you remember about your Air Force experience?
Well, we took 13 weeks of training
Yeah.
and got that over with.
Okay.
Basic training is what it's called.
Yeah. And then what do you remember doing after that?
Well, I went to Lackland and I think I might have stayed in Killen, Texas.
In Killen, Texas? Okay. Tell me about your career in the Air Force. What all did you do? Did you ever do any flying in the Air Force? You were in security.
Yeah,
Where did you learn that?
I don't know.
Where were you stationed that you were in security? You told me there was fencing all around it. Where was that?
That had 4 fences around it all the way, and we had some security there.
Where was that?
That was there in Texas, I think.
Okay. And what was there that required security all around it?
Well, Killen, Texas, Fort Hood was there, and Killen base was for the Air Force.
Okay. Fort Hood was the Army,
Yeah,
and Killen was the Air Force.
yeah.
And let me go back a little bit. Do you remember when the atom bomb was dropped on Japan? Do you remember where you?
One Sunday afternoon.
Do you remember where you were? What you were doing?
Yeah, I think I've been to a movie. It come out.
You were at the movie and you came home.
Yeah. It's this on the radio. There wasn't no TV back then.
Right. Right. So everybody in town was pretty happy with that. Now going back further, do you remember when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor?
Yep. On a Sunday afternoon.
And when did you learn that that had happened? Where were you? Were you at home? That was on a Sunday.
Well, see, on a Sunday, you usually done something that you would be returning home in the evening or afternoon.
Okay. Was your family, did you go to church? Did you have a little church there in Chevrolet?
Yeah, but they go to church.
You didn't go to church? Besides, did you have the movie theater in town there?
No.
Where did you have to go to the movie?
Harlan.
How'd you get to Harlan?
5 miles.
How did you get there?
Well,
You have to hitchhike?
yep, or somebody would drive or furnish their car for you.
All right.
And I remember when Japan attacked at Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Yep.
And pretty amazing about bringing the war to an end with the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
You were still in high school when the war ended, weren't you? That was in '45.
Yeah. Yeah, because 46 is when I graduated from high school.
Yeah. Was there any concern while you were in high school that you were going to have to go into the war before it ended?
Yeah.
Did any of your older classmates go into the war? Did any of your older classmates go into the war?
No.
Well, tell me a little bit more about your security work at this Killen base. What did that consist of? What did you do on a daily basis? What time would you get up in the morning?
Well, I think it was later than getting up real early. It was a little bit later.
All right. And then, did you have to go to mess hall?
No.
What'd you do for breakfast?
I was on where you getting your money for the stuff free. I mean, it was not free, but it was.
Say that again?
The money was helped me.
All right, but I'm talking about having breakfast.
Oh.
You got up in the morning, and where did you have breakfast?
Probably at home.
Now you're in the Army.
Yeah.
Did you live in barracks?
No. I can't remember.
That's all right. What would you do during the day? Did you fill out paperwork, or did you have to do any security work walking around the base?
Nope. We had guards for that.
Okay. Well, what did you do?
I don't remember.
All right. Did you have any free time? Was this your job at the base? Was that just 5 days a week, or did you have to stay there 7 days a week?
5 days a week.
And what would you do in your free time?
I don't know. I don't remember.
When did you get your first car? Did you get a car after you got out of the military?
Yeah.
So you didn't have a car with you down at the base?
I didn't get my first car until I came to Ohio.
When was that?
That was I can't remember because I went up to and went to work at a steel mill in Gary, Indiana.
All right.
And at the time I was working at steel mill, it was tubing that was making. It's about that big around as holler.
Okay.
I was an inspector on it.
All right. So you're a quality inspector?
Yeah.
You remember what steel mill you worked in?
Not offhand, but I had a brother-in-law that run overhead.
Overhead crane?
Yeah.
What was your brother-in-law's name?
Monroe
Mon-
Northcutt.
Monroe Northcutt?
Yeah.
All right. Is that how you got the job up there at the steel mill, through your brother-in-law?
Yeah.
How did you get up to Gary? Did you take a train or a bus?
No, we lived in Rensselaer in Indiana, and they all drove.
Okay. Now, where did you live in Rensselaer? Who did you live with?
I lived with my sister for a few months.
Which sister was that?
Geneva.
Geneva. Okay. So you lived with Geneva and her husband for a few months,
Yeah.
and would go to work up in up the steel mill from her house.
Yeah.
How long did you work in the steel mill as an inspector?
Not too long, maybe 6 months or something.
And then what did you do?
Yeah, I come back to down Chevrolet Way.
You went back down to Kentucky? And did you work down there, or did you just stay off work for a while?
No, I worked locally down there.
What did you do?
I don't remember.
Was it in the mine or out of the mine?
Out of the mines. I know what I did. I painted outside houses for the company, and I got like $3 a house when I was painting.
$3 a house?
Yeah, wasn't much.
No, it sure wasn't. How much did you make up at the steel mill an hour? You remember?
Not offhand, okay.
But was it better pay than working in the mine?
Yeah, it was safer.
Okay. Do you remember there being any cave-ins or any hazards there in the mine?
Oh.
Was it pretty safe?
Well, we lost a few in the mines there at Chevrolet, slate falls on them.
All right, tell me about that. Slate from the roof would fall down and crush them?
Yeah.
Well, didn't they have any support for the top of the mine?
Well, they had timber they put up. If it was bad, they'd run They were about 6 feet long, and they had to clear 5 inches.
Okay. They put those up to support the roof,
Yeah.
but did this slate fall where they did not have any timbers?
Oh, yeah.
Did your father get any injuries in the mine?
I think he got a foot broke one time.
Now, how did they get the coal from the face of the mine out to the outside? Did they have a railroad track?
At railroad track, and there's cars that, I don't know, help maybe a ton or something like that, and they bring it out and dump it.
Well, how did they get the cars out? Did they have mules, or did the men have to push them out?
At one time they had mules,
Okay.
but then they went over to mechanical.
Well, I interviewed a Vietnam veteran that worked in the mines down in West Virginia, and he was laying track in the mines.
Laying track.
Yeah. And he told me that his pay was a little more than the miners because of his being able to lay the track.
Yeah.
When you came back to Chevrolet and you're painting company houses, how long did you do that?
Wasn't too long.
What, a few months?
Yeah.
And then where did you go?
I don't know.
Did you come to Ohio?
I didn't come to Ohio right off the band. Because I went to Rensselaer, Indiana to start with.
You were in Rensselaer and you worked in the steel mill.
Yeah.
Then you came back to Chevrolet,
Yeah.
and then you went someplace else. Where'd you go then?
I don't know. I guess I went to service at one time because I did join the Air Force.
Right. Well, we're talking about after you got out of the Air Force. And where did you get discharged from? Where did they discharge you? What was your location? Were you in Texas or were you someplace else?
I was in Killen, Texas for a while.
Well, we know that when you did get out and you got your mustering out pay, you built the indoor plumbing for the house. You remember that? You used your money to help buy the indoor plumbing at the house?
Yeah, because I run, they had 3 wells in the camp, and then they finally fixed one where that they used it automatically. And they had me doing it.
They had you working on that?
Yeah. And I don't know how long I did that. And then it got to where that I joined the Air Force.
Okay. So, when did you start working for the post office?
Well, I went to work at Chevrolet, which is another outfit, but this was in Harlan County.
Okay. I had a job somewhere before I started for the post office, and So your post office you worked at was in Harlan County.
Harlan County, yeah.
And before that, you had another job. Do you remember where that was? Was that in Harlan County too?
I don't know.
Okay. So what did you do for the post office? Did you work in the post office, or were you a mail carrier, or what did you do?
I just sorted mail.
Okay.
Then later on, I got I took over more work out post office.
All right. So besides sorting mail, what did they eventually get you doing there in the post office? What else? Did you ever, did they have rural routes where you drove out to customers?
Not for me.
Okay. Did you have any walking routes that you had to do? Did you get supervisor work there at the post office? Did you get to be a boss?
I did.
Did you like being a boss?
Not really.
Did you have good people working there in the post
Yeah, I
office?
had some nice people.
Okay. How long did you work in the post office? Was that a lot of years? Years and years?
Not a lot of years.
Well, he retired in '85 from the post office, and he worked there from 56. But he worked part-time at the post office and part-time at Chrysler Air Temp.
Yeah.
So your son says that you worked at the post office, you started working there in
Around 56.
1956.
Yeah.
And you worked there for years, but you also worked at Chrysler Air Temp.
Yeah.
Now, the Chrysler Air Temp I know is in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, that's the one, Chrysler Air Temp.
And when you were working at Chrysler Air Temp, were you also working for the post office?
Part-time.
And that was in Dayton, Ohio also?
Yeah. And I would go into the post office, and I had a valley case, which we had little towns that would make their mail up into bundles, and you bring them in there. And then when I got them, I had to separate them and move them where they would have gone.
So the mail came in bundles from other towns?
Yeah.
And you had to sort them to get them delivered?
Well, the sort is just bundles of it.
Yeah. Now, so were you also working at Chrysler Air Temp at the time?
Yeah.
So you'd go from the post office over to Chrysler Air Temp?
I worked from Chrysler evening, and I go in and work at the post office part-time, 4 hours or something like that.
What did you do for Chrysler Air Temp?
I was an inspector.
No, they made car parts, didn't they?
Well, yeah. Yeah, because Chrysler was an automobile place.
Right. And that was a pretty going business when you were working there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you worked the day shift or the evening shift?
The day shift.
Okay. Where were you living at that time?
I guess at home.
No, but do you remember where your home was in Dayton?
Yeah.
He was on
It
Death
kept
Street.
it little thing that had, I could show you.
I'm talking about in Dayton. When you lived in Dayton, do you remember where you lived?
Yeah.
Did you live there with your wife?
Yeah.
Now, now, How many children did you have?
One
And was that a boy or a girl?
boy
And what's his name?
right there.
I know he's here. What's his name?
John Douglas.
Thank you. And when was John born? 1954?
Yeah.
Is John married?
Yep.
And do you know what his wife's name is?
No.
You don't remember her name?
Yeah, I know.
What's her name? This is 20 questions now.
Yeah. Sherry.
Sherry?
Sherry, yeah.
Okay. And does John have children? John and Sherry have children? Okay.
Couldn't afford them.
He's saying that he had 2 children.
Who?
John says he has 2 children.
You better admit it or Shannon will come get you. You better admit, because Shannon will come and get you. Shannon and Jason.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Shannon and Grayson?
Jason.
Jason?
Yeah.
Shannon and
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shame on you for not remembering that.
They're going to let me know it when they see me.
Sure. So, when did you retire from the post office and, first of all, your post office? Do you remember?
I don't know, because I moved up.
Oh.
And I had another job which was higher up.
At the post office, you
Yeah,
instead of sorting, you had another job.
yeah.
Do you remember what that was?
He called it logistics, and then he was over star routes and went up to small towns and picked up and delivered mail to the post office elsewhere.
Yeah.
Do you remember doing that? And what was that? Picking up mail from other routes?
It wasn't very much what I did.
All right. When you quit the post office, were you still working at Chrysler Air Temp? Or did you quit both at the same time, or you quit Chrysler before the post office?
He worked part-time at both places, and then it comes a point where he decided he was going to stay with the post office and go full-time.
All right. Now your son says you worked both places part-time. And then you quit Chrysler Air Temp and you went back to the post office full-time.
Yeah.
All right. You remember that?
Yeah.
So at Chrysler Air Temp, did you ever get any promotions besides doing an inspector? Did you have any other jobs at Chrysler?
Not offhand.
Okay. Do you remember how the pay was at Chrysler Air Temp? Was it good pay?
Not too bad.
How about the post office? How was that pay?
It wasn't paying too good at the time.
Well, why did you quit being part-time at both places?
I probably went into another business because
Was working 2 places too much for you?
yeah.
So you wanted to just settle down into one job. Now, did your wife work during your marriage at all outside the home? Either one, Joanne or Wanda, did they work outside?
That's just That's pretty good.
Joanne worked outside and started at 68. She worked through Superior Races. And then Wanda, she was at the post office when you married her.
Yeah, she was a postmaster at Tremont City. Wanda was
Wanda was a postmistress
at Tremont City.
at Tremont City, and Tremont City was in Indiana.
No, it's Ohio.
It is. I don't know where that is.
Between Springfield and Urbana.
Oh, all right. Tremont City, between Springfield and Urbana.
Yeah.
And how did you come to meet her? If she's working in Tremont City, how did you get to know Wanda?
She worked in the post office downtown on 5th Street, and that's where he met her. And then after years of working as a window clerk, she got a postmaster job up in Tremont City.
All right, let's put that a little clearer. Wanda was working at the post office in Dayton when you met her, correct?
I guess.
On 5th Street in Dayton.
Yeah.
And then she was, she transferred up to Tremont City where she became the postmistress up there.
Yeah.
Now, when she was up there in Tremont City, did you still live in Ohio, in Dayton? And would she go back and forth every day?
Well, they lived in Huber Heights, and when she got the job, then they had to move closer because she had to be in the same area. So they moved to Springfield.
Do you remember? Now, Huber Heights is in North Dayton. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And as I remember, that's kind of a community of brick homes.
Yeah.
And when she got the job in Tremont City, did you move to Springfield so you'd be closer?
Yeah.
And you continued to work down in Dayton?
Yeah.
All right.
He was retired when they moved.
So you retired from the post office? You retired from the post office? And when you retired from the post office, is that when you moved to Springfield?
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell me about what you did during retirement. What'd you do to keep busy? What'd you do during the day? Do you have any hobbies?
I don't remember.
He liked to do woodwork, and he was always helping people. Actually, he renovated the post office in Tremont City.
Did you renovate the post office at Tremont? By yourself? You're a woodworker? Did you have a little workshop?
Yeah. There's some other work
I wonder, did he do that? Yeah.
that was part of my work I did, and
So you're a Buckeye fan?
yeah. I live in Ohio.
Yeah, right. Well, not everybody that lives in Ohio is a Buckeye fan. There are some people that like Michigan.
Yeah, and that Michigan was getting on the Ohio mad.
Yep. Did you ever go to any of the high state football games?
No,
How about basketball?
no,
You just follow them on television?
yeah.
Tell me about your woodworking. Did you make furniture for the family or for other people?
Well, I started out making that as a shelf,
Okay,
and see those salt and pepper shakers?
okay.
I designed that, and salt and pepper shaker, that on top, and napkins and roller.
All right.
Then they went on your kitchen table,
Yeah.
and if you look around, you find several things I've done that.
Where did you learn to do woodworking? How did you learn that?
That one?
Self-taught.
Did your father do any of that? He probably didn't have much time for that.
No, my father couldn't read or write.
Let me go back to the days when your dad was a coal miner. I've heard that they would go down in the mine in the dark and come out of the mine in the dark. Was that true? What'd your dad look like when he came home? Was he all covered with coal dust?
Oh, they had bathhouses where they took showers.
All right. Okay. Now, some of the miners developed what they call black lung disease. Did your dad ever come down with that?
Well, it wasn't black lung. It was stuff that they were putting underground to keep from doing something else, to cover it up, keep it from burning.
Okay. What, if anything, is the most outstanding memory you have of your Air Force career?
My what?
Your Air Force career. What's the most outstanding thing you remember?
I guess one of the rifle ranges.
Okay. Now, you got into the military after they developed the atom bomb. Did you have anything to do with the development of the hydrogen bomb at any of your bases?
No, not really, because you couldn't talk about nothing like that.
Okay.
As we had 4 fences around us and 1 gate out, and then there was electric charge on the one fence, and the birds or snakes or everything, it would just fry them.
Well, what was at that base that needed that security so much? Why was it so secure?
I don't remember.
Were they developing anything new for the military at that time? Do you know?
Yeah, we were trying to.
Okay.
Some way we got tied in with Killen base. It's close to Fort Hood.
Right. Yeah, you told me it was close to Fort Hood. Did you ever go over to Fort Hood and visit with any of the Army guys?
They didn't like us Air Force people at all.
Yeah. I've heard that.
It was the A-bomb that they were guarding where he was at.
Or age.
So now your son said that you were protecting part of the A-bomb, the atomic bomb development after the war. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Did any of the bosses talk to you about what they were doing? All right. Now, when did Wanda pass away? Do you remember?
December of last year.
Do you remember Wanda passed away December of last year? Do you remember that?
Yep. Got her picture there and everything.
And where were you?
Right here.
Where were you living at the time?
No, give it to him if you don't mind.
Now,
I
can I tilt it anyway without reflection?
no, I see her and I see her name and everything. Yes,
All right.
it's good.
Okay. So at the time she died, you were living up in the Masonic home in Springfield? Yes? And she passed away December 29, 2023. She was born in Paris, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember right, Paris, Kentucky is just a little bit north of Lexington.
Yep.
Her mom and dad were Paul and Vincent Wyatt. And I see where she retired as a postmaster. She had some sisters, Ruby, Gail,
Evelyn.
and Evelyn.
She was a very smart woman.
Well, I know she was smart because she married you.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you'd like to talk about in this interview? About your life or your career or your family?
That's it I know of.
All right. Mary, is there anything you would like to ask him?
Just a very interesting interview. Thank you.
You want to tell them about your train ride in the military? About your train ride in the military?
John says there's something about a train ride when you went to the military. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
He's not remembering some things right now.
I was complaining about taking the train out to the base.
You can come over here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell us about that.
Remember you talking about the train ride out west of Texas? You complained about being in the train and taking days to get out there?
Yeah.
You always complained about that.
Train ride was too long, right?
Yeah.
No air conditioning, all this stuff.
How was the food on the train?
It wasn't very good. I went out of Chicago, from Chicago down.
And how was the sleeping accommodations? Did you have to sleep in your seat or did you have someplace you could lie down?
You had to sleep in your seat. It was terrible.
Were you in uniform? Anything else that you remember that he's talked about?
Well, when he was talking about working at Chrysler, he just bought a house full of furniture and got laid off. And then so he started going around cleaning gutters, painting houses, anything he could do to pay for everything, keep everything going.
All right.
And one job led to another, because he did work for my aunts here in Dayton. But originally, we lived on Best Street with my grandparents, and then we bought the house in Northridge in '56. And then him and Mom was married until '72, and then he married Wanda in '73.
Okay.
But he worked inspector at Chrysler, inspecting air conditioning units for cars and for home.
All right.
And then he went full-time with the post office, and he sorted mail at night there. And then as he moved up, he learned the schemes to actually sort for routes that other carriers took out and deliver to homes. And then he became in logistics, where he was over the star routes, where the trucks would go out and pick up mail like Arcanum, Greenville, and bring it back to the 5th Street station where it'd be sorted out to be sent out like ours is going to Columbus now. And then he was over sending out stuff through the airport. So they had a small office up here at the airport, and he would coordinate everything with the airlines to get stuff where it's supposed to be. And one thing he complained about is they was putting in this new system that worked out of St. Louis, so everything that went on all the post offices they could take care of down there. Well, he flat out told him it's not going to work, and it didn't work. Because he went out and looked at it, he said, "This is not going to work the way it's set up." And then they just abandoned the whole thing.
Linda, is there anything you want to ask him? Or
Yeah, do you remember telling me just a little bit ago about the 4 airplanes that came into the base you were on? You said one of them almost crashed, the 4th one? You remember telling me about those airplanes coming in? Where you were and you were working on the special project? Do you remember any of that? You said 4 planes came in the base while you were in there and one of them almost crashed. Where you had the fences around it.
Four planes.
Do you remember that? You just shared before we started, you had 4 planes coming in. When you were in the Air Force and you were working on the special project, were you working on anything with the A-bomb or a different one? You remember that?
No, because I don't remember that because
Okay.
there's a lot of things that we wasn't supposed to remember.
What did you do when you were in there? What did you do when you were in there? That you can share it now, you're allowed to.
Yeah.
You remember telling me your stories?
All right, well, I want to thank you for this interview, and I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You did a good job today. And now, you were in a wheelchair. How's your health generally? How's your health?
Pretty good.
Good.
For 97 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 97 years old.
Right, I know that. And congratulations on being 97, too.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.